All right, back. Mighty Joe Parrish, and we got the Goose here back on Love Wrestling Reacts. We're just after SmackDown here, boys, and a pretty solid show. I mean, I don't think it was anything too crazy. I mean, things ended off on a bit of an interesting note here, but kind of go around the table here and talk to everybody. What's going on, Parrish?
Oh, not too much. Just rocking the oil drop because it is game 2 tonight with the Oilers and Jets. So just want to make sure they're doing that. And I'm also just rocking this little bad boy, the Love Wrestling Elite Championship, because you know what? Every brother needs his bling, right? Look at that shine. Look at that shine.
And hopping in at the last second before we got rolling here, the Canadian Goose. What is going on, dude?
How are you guys? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude or anything. I just
Goose honks whenever he wants to.
On joining on, but y'all were just like, oh, finishing up your little pre-thing is just as I logged in. So I'm here. I got to see the main event, and the main event was fantastic. I thought that was a spectacular final match for this SmackDown for sure.
Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff.
There's some weirdness going on here in Canada today. I was not able to watch the show until the main event, and that was only because I was able to find a stream of it on Twitch. I think there's some hockey or something going on that's taking priority.
Yeah.
So did you see the show, Parrish?
Oh yeah. No, I made sure I tuned in. But the one thing I wanted to say, Sportsnet is the Canadian provider for all WWE, but they are also a main contributor of the NHL, especially locally, where the Oilers do have the rights for the Edmonton area, and with the game against the Jets on, that's what's going to take kind of priority, because you know what? This is a hockey town.
Well, here in Ontario, I watched the entire thing live on Fox, so it wasn't an issue. So some good.
Yeah,
stuff.
that was also a secondary option you can do. You can go to Fox.
I looked for Fox and I looked for Sportsnet, and Sportsnet's not airing it till midnight. Yeah. And Fox is like not till 9 o'clock, which is probably starting right now.
Interesting. Our friend Ed in the chat here saying what's going on.
Hi, Ed. How are you?
And of course, the boss, Spenny, in our chat as well. All right, guys. Well, to kind of kick things off here, a big announcement. We're getting live crowds back in July. They're going back on the road, and fans are back. And meanwhile, where I'm at, we're still locked down, wearing masks. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Canada's a little behind everything, so that's always fun.
Getting annoying at this point.
Great job, Trudeau. Way to run a country. You're doing a bang-up job.
Whoa, let's not get all political here.
Everybody else is it's a legitimate point to bring up. It's frustrating. Everybody else is moving on, and we're lagging behind. Like we need to get some vaccinations in this country so we can get back to normal. And in wrestling-wise, in Canada, we can get back to normal as well, because it is about friggin' time.
I'm going to get vaccinated tomorrow.
Well, there you go.
I am too.
There you go.
Oh, maybe I'll see you at the clinic.
Perhaps.
All right. Well,
that's all I'm doing at the clinic. I'm not disposing of any sorts. So,
well, let's get to the actual show.
Just in case people ask.
We did kick off with the Parade of Champions. You know, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Champions on the men and the women's side. We had Apollo Crews, and of course, we had Bianca Belair all out there at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice when they showcase the champions. Kind of makes the titles a little bit more important. I thought. I don't think WWE does enough of promoting their champions and their stars, to be honest. So it'd be nice. It's nice to see these little things, just promoting, the stars of the show, stars of the company, and like the titles where everyone should be gunning for.
What I did like, and thankfully they didn't do this, is they kept Roman separate. He came out later and did his own separate thing. I was actually surprised, because usually WWE doesn't catch on to these things and they just have everybody all at the same time. Thankfully, they've been staying on brand with Roman, and he went out there and did his own thing. Thank God, because that worked on many different levels.
The luxury of having a guy like Paul Heyman backstage who notices the small etiquette things that just go from making a steak plain. Oh my God, you got to order this stuff. It's just to die for, right? Or to perish for, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, for sure. And then we had Apollo kind of talking. I'm still not really digging this character. I mean, he's been great in the ring. I don't know about the character. The accent feels really forced and kind of
feels
funny, but
no offense, but a little tiny bit on the racist side to me.
What his character?
Yeah,
how's it racist? It's his background, and it's his idea.
But he's clearly, if you've ever heard him talk before, he's putting on a fake accent.
Yeah,
which is
because what they're banking on is that you didn't see anything of what he did before. As long as you haven't seen that, then you're cool, right? But if you're somebody that's seen the regular Apollo Crews and know that he doesn't actually talk that way, it can be a little jarring. So they're just banking on the fact that people have forgotten that aspect of things.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, it's like if you didn't know him prior to WWE, we always have to take in context. It's WWE. It's prior to WWE. WWE, it's their own world. They create whatever they want. Right?
Even inside of WWE with NXT and before he became this character, he didn't talk that way.
Yeah, that was my point.
Kind of the issue. That's kind of the issue is that.
And it's not a huge issue. They're not using slurs or anything like that. It's just a little phony. Yeah.
Hey, but regardless of if you like the gimmick or not, he's having some of the best work and doing some of the best work of his WWE career. So, I mean, needless to say, the character, the gimmick, the voice, whatever he's doing, it's working. And he has an Intercontinental Championship to boot. Yeah. And he's having great matches with great workers, and he's a prominent mainstay now on SmackDown, which 3 years ago you're wondering why he's not getting more time. He's so talented. Why isn't Apollo Crews getting more? Why is he losing his name? I don't get this. So now it's kind of like, hey, look, we might not all universally enjoy this gimmick or this character, but what we do like is that we get to see him every week because he is now a prominent part of Friday Night SmackDown, and that's what matters. And he's a champion.
Yep. And then Bailey came out and
his performance tonight, he's fantastic too. Really good in the ring.
Oh, for sure. One thing they need to be careful is that Aziz doesn't kind of overshadow him too much. Like that's the thing with having a guy and then having like a bigger guy being kind of like your backup guy is that he can kind of steal your thunder a little bit. But time will tell with that. Bailey, of course, did come out and started messing around with everybody, I guess, pretty much calling everybody up, but specifically Bianca Belair.
Kind of her thing now, eh?
Thankfully, whoever designed her attire, did include just the one word because it says "ding" and then "dong" on her shirt, and like sometimes the way the camera's going, you only saw the second word. So, But anyways, of course, this led to a 6-person tag team match.
So what you're saying is you didn't appreciate the dong.
Didn't appreciate the dong.
She can be the new king of dong style. I've heard of vacancies opened up.
Of course, we did see a 6-man tag. I mean, this
PG Goose, PG.
This just feels like we've had this program with these 6 people for just too long now. It's like I thought, WrestleMania we would have wrapped this up by now, but it seems like we're still beating a dead horse at this point. Do you guys get that impression at all with this? Or
there are way too many references we can go with the words you're using. But I agree with the direction you're going with this with that guy.
Intentional, I swear to God.
I know. As someone who's very immature, I did catch on. But with that being said, I mean, I think this is one of the things that they always seem to do before. Honestly, I do think a draft might come in, and I do think a draft in front of people now is something that they could be looking towards. But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, you want to see some changing. Maybe you want to see a new face. Maybe you want to see somebody go somewhere else, or maybe you want to see someone come in. That's why I do think like moving Bailey to Raw is beneficial. Moving Asuka to SmackDown could be beneficial. Yeah. Maybe even bringing up maybe you want to bring up an Io Shirai, or maybe you want to give somebody else an opportunity. I mean, I'm totally okay. Maybe even Tegan Nox can come up to the main roster. I actually wouldn't mind that one, to be honest.
Yeah. I would be moving a bunch of these girls over to NXT because that's seems to be the strongest women's roster on the entire company. Mm-hmm. even Bailey. I think like if I was calling the shots, I'd be putting her to NXT, and she has like tremendous matchups with all the women they have there. That's the strongest women's division, arguably, in wrestling right now.
Did you see Tony Storm's new finishing move?
Yeah, that was pretty devastating. Yeah,
I was like, oh boy, that looks rough.
Yeah, she pulled that out of nowhere, and it was pretty fantastic.
We just also want to make sure that we're not convoluting a scene, though, either, because NXT has an abundance of amazing workers. So we just don't want to have like 6, 7 amazing female wrestlers, and then you just don't have the time for them all in a show. And then you're kind of in that position of like thinking, why aren't you doing anything with them? So
which again brings up the speculation of just give them their own show at this point.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's not like it's something I've been saying for a couple years, and I'm just like, hey, like this is the time now. Let's have your stardom within WWE. If there's a company that has the brass to do something like this, and they're like, okay, well, stardom works. The glow thing is a thing. Then why don't you have your own? WWE's always had that kind of swinging DICK in the room. So just do it. And they have the platform. They have all the. They're a media mogul. I mean, you can do it.
Again, to bring it down, in, because recently on a video that Josh did, right, talking about how women just aren't getting a fair shake, not only in WWE, but just wrestling in general, outside of Stardom, Women of Wrestling, and all that kind of stuff. Tonight, another great example, we had this 6-person tag match. That's it, right? The entire show, that's all the women got, right? You have a lot of women working for this company. Just bite the bullet, create a brand, call it Evolution, call it whatever. Just give them their own show, give them a 2-hour show every week, and just let them go and do their thing, and just showcase them. They've been like hinting at this and saying that they're going to do it. Just give them their own show.
The one thing I don't get is Raw is 3 hours. Why not have more female emphasis on Raw when you have that extra hour, and then put your main feuds on the SmackDown? Like it's just. And I'm sorry to cut you off, Goose. Like you can, it's just one of those things. Why not execute that 3rd hour on Raw better than what you've been doing?
Yeah, or just say you're going to reserve that 1 hour block to going forward. This is going to be just for the women from this time to this time. Do something to where you're like. It's one thing to say you're going to showcase the women, but to actually do it, they really haven't been.
Yeah, Goose, go ahead. Sorry about cutting you off.
My issue with doing like an all-women show is that the only kind of blueprint we have for that would be 205 Live, which is just like a specialty cruiserweight show.
Scratch it.
Pardon me?
Scratch it and give the women that hour. And because honestly, the cruiserweights are part of NXT now.
The 205 Live thing is really not, I don't think, like must-see television. Like maybe when it first started it was, and then now it kind of just went off. So my concern would be that it would follow that sort of a path. I mean,
you didn't have the top tier talent on that show either. That's the other thing. I think it was more of an issue of talent than not getting a chance to showcase. Right? With the women, you'd have Charlotte, you'd have Bailey, you'd have Asuka, you'd have Sasha, you have everybody on that show. You'd be stacked, right?
I mean, I don't know, because it depends. Like, will you be taking the women off Raw and SmackDown and NXT and just having them on their own thing? Because, like, I don't know. I'm not.
I think take them off Raw and SmackDown for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind NXT kind of being that influx and being kind of that secondary option or like whatever. But I think the Raw and SmackDown, take them off those shows, or at the very least, only represent the champions and like make the champions like available to go to these. And then if you want to go to these, you got to be the champion. But at the same time, I think this is the time where if you're going to create that all-female brand, then you create an atmosphere where, it's equal or higher up to Raw, where these women don't want to go to the Raw and SmackDown. They want to be at their own brand. They're doing their own thing. So, I mean, it all depends on how you play it out. It all depends on how you market and how you honestly are creating this whole thing. I mean, there's so many factors.
Here's what you do. You pick Raw or SmackDown, right? You get Vince, you get Hunter, you get Stephanie out in the ring. You bring out every woman out. Like you wait until you get fans back. You bring all the women out, and you just say, "Hey, what do you guys think about having your own show? You have the fans, everything there, and you just you throw that idea. They did that thing before. It's like, oh, we're gonna listen to what you guys say, and we're gonna do what the fans want. Everything. here's an opportunity to do such a thing. You all the McMahons come out, you bring all the entire women's roster out to the ring, and you say, we're giving you guys your own show. That place would go nuts.
What happens if that would be the go home to Evolution 2?
Exactly, right?
Would that not be a gigantic moment? And
awesome.
like oh my God. And this is the first big wrestling company that would break ground. It is groundbreaking because we have your own independent female companies, and some of them take really, really they do very amazing work and they get high, but they're like the king of the indies when it comes to what females can do. There's still that next level. That next level is the WWE. And if WWE has this,
bingo.
There you go. Because
I don't know.
Regardless of what you think about WWE,
I can't really get behind this, boys. Like I can see them doing like a women's only show, but I am imagining just from their track record, the execution is going to be okay. This is like an hour-long thing that they throw up one day of the week where we're able to find like a spare time slot, or it goes on the network. And taking the girls off Raw and SmackDown, I think would be a terrible idea, just because, I mean, Raw's been around for like 30 years. You got a lot of people that watch that show that love to see the women. And if you're just like, hey, if you want to see the women, you got to go here instead. I think it might hurt the situation a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved the Evolution show. And I do think like a women's show could be good if executed properly, but I don't have a lot of faith that it would be.
Well, time will tell, and we'll see if it ever does happen. Going from that, we got a really, really good promo from Big E leading up to this fatal four-way match for the IC title. I've been really digging what Big E's been doing recently, and then this promo, man, he got the point across, and I was firmly believing that he was going to have a chance to win that title tonight.
Yeah, I think this promo really solidified Big E as now we're actually seeing his potential come to fruition. It's not like I even thought his Intercontinental Championship run, you're still kind of wanting a little bit more, and you're like, okay, we want to see that next level still. Okay, like what go? And I think now this is the beginning of Big E becoming an actual star of the show, and a star that is going to be on the vignettes. He's going to be on those posters. He's going to be on the seats that you sit on in the front row of WrestleMania. And it's not just because he's added in because he's a third member of the New Day, which is one of the hottest acts, he's one of the hottest individual acts going in. He's a must-see talent. He's a must-see act. It's one of those things that you actually pay your money because you want to bring in your Big E sign, wear your Big E shirt, you want to and all this stuff. I think he is now putting it all together.
He's a crowd pleaser, no doubt about it.
Yep. I mean, for all the silliness and whatnot we talked about for Apollo's new gimmick and whatnot, and the fact that they had like a Nigerian drum fight at WrestleMania, it was a good match at WrestleMania, and Big E has definitely proven he can carry himself, especially like tonight's match was a really good match. Really? I thought that was one of the best matches I've seen in WWE in some time, for sure, at least since WrestleMania. It was way better than anything that was on Raw last week.
Yeah, and Goose, we will get to the main event.
Yep, so we will get to it.
Keep those thoughts.
Keep those thoughts for sure. Next up, we had another Aleister Black vignette / promo / whatever that was. Keeping in mind that we haven't said what happens later on in the evening, this was really well done. It was another one of these. I think they've probably done 5 or 6 of these now. I'm sure that they've had them in the can for a little while now. But I was still at the end kind of left kind of going, okay, what's the point of this and where are we going with it, right? Like I said, really well done, well executed. But I was like, okay, what's the end game here with this, right? Yeah. That was my feeling coming out of it. Not knowing what would happen later in the evening. I think people can already kind of know what direction we're going there. But yeah, I thought
we don't want to spoil the show that we're recapping.
People
we will at the end, but it is a recap show. We are saying what happened. But with that being said, if you're just tuning in and you haven't watched it and you want us to let you know, we're going to hold the suspense just a little bit for you. Yeah, so, I mean, and then this is the thing with Aleister Black. We don't need any more reminders of how good of a promo and a vignette he is. But with that being said, they're still really good vignettes, and I'm not going to ever be unhappy with an Aleister Black vignette when we've had how long without anything Aleister Black related at all. So the fact that I even see Aleister Black's name or a picture of him on a show color me happy, because I am just, in the words of Cameron Grimes, to the moon excited with Aleister Black being presented and used. So the fact that it was another promo where, yes, he did want to see where is this going. It was one of those things. Well, I'm very happy he's there, because this is a better product when Aleister Black is on.
For sure. And
do they not have commercials on all the shows out there, Ed?
Yeah, I think what Ed's getting at is I think he meant to say is that it seemed like there weren't that many, or that there were more commercials.
I thought there was a lot of commercials.
Yeah, there always is. They gotta pay the bills, right? So I always find it intriguing. I don't know if maybe it's the same on the channels that you guys watch SmackDown on, but literally the last minute right before SmackDown starts, there's always a Ring of Honor ad, like every single time. I always find that really interesting.
Yeah, we don't get that on our side. We're more like, especially with Sportsnet and like locally, like we're always more like, we get more Blue Jay stuff, we get more hockey.
On the Fox, when it's Ring of Honor,
we get that idiot who's making curveball juice on a lot of oftentimes.
Curveball juice.
Yeah, because he's like, when life
like a
hits you hard.
Guy, he's on a lot of commercials.
He made there's one where he made a reference. He's like, when life hits you hard, make lemonade, and then he has like a baseball, or no, it's like when life throws you a curveball, you make lemonade, and then at the end he has a baseball and then a thing of lemonade, and he's like, curveball juice, and like he's quirky and to a point, but after a while it's kind of like, yeah, you're a dork, buddy.
He's not juicing baseballs, is he?
I mean, he's not Barry Bonds.
The Twitch stream that I ended up finally finding SmackDown on did include the commercials, and some of my favorites was one featuring a family of blue bears, and they no longer have to use quite as much toilet paper as before. So the
Charmin bears.
Yeah, the little baby bear was really hyped up to be like, yeah, roll it back, guys, and I was like,
I do like the video game Charmin one. That was creative. I didn't even play that game.
All right, so moving away from commercials now, to back to the discussion. We had Baron Corbin come out and basically saying, you know what, I'm gonna, stomp Shinsuke Nakamura with my boot to get my crown back, so to speak. It was a better done promo than what I kind of did there. I was kind of paraphrasing what he said there. It was actually pretty well done. And then we had an interesting person come out. I guess this guy is up from NXT now. Bugenhaus or Bugenheim or Boogs or yeah, he came up and play. I guess he knows how to play the guitar, or if he's faking it, I don't know.
He's the deodorant guy, right? The red card, was it?
He screams a lot. He's got he's got the screaming kind of gimmick.
Yeah, he's very entertaining. So I mean, give him, like, if you guys are like, what the hell is he? Give it time. He's very entertaining. He's very energetic, and that's just it. Yeah. Like, take Mojo Rawley, but give him talent, and that's what you have with this guy. But again, like, I'm just gonna also point out, we're talking Baron Corbin after a commercial break. Can we go back to the commercial break? Thanks, but no, I mean,
he was going by Eric Bugenhagen.
Yeah,
and now they're just calling him Boogs.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that I think they're using more Rick Boogs. Yeah. I wonder if people are going to call him the Booger. Who knows? The Boogser. But no, I mean, I like the fact that they're playing on the whole King thing. It does make you kind of think, are they going to bring back King of the Ring? I think that'd be very cool if they did. Plus, it's giving Shinsuke something to do, which I actually don't mind, because Shinsuke is still one of those guys that he's he's kind of in that lost kind of realm right now where it's like they don't know what they're doing with him. He's there. He's a really good egg to have, but they just don't know where to fit him in yet. And I don't know, like to me, Baron Corbin is super underrated for how he performs in the ring, and he's still one of the best true heels of the business. Still cooks the best, or grills the best steak, probably. But at the same time, I just want to see King Corbin, the character, die, and I want him to kind of go back to the lone wolf a little bit more. I just want to see a little bit of a shuffle in terms of like his presentation, because I do think he serves a really good purpose. And I do think it's time that maybe he gets an opportunity at a mid-card title, because when he was the U.S. champion, it wasn't that bad, but it also seemed like he wasn't ready for it. Now I do think he's ready. So
with Nakamura, I think with him, it's still a little bit of kind of culture shock, a little bit kind of going on, because it seems like his character, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. You just have to go back and look at all his non-WWE stuff, and it's all absolutely incredible.
Even in WWE, Homeboy's been a WWE champion.
Like, no, he hasn't. He's been NXT.
Yeah.
Didn't he win the belt from AJ Styles?
No.
Oh well,
he won the Rumble, and then he lost, and then turned heel by hitting him in the phenomenal ones.
Yeah. But
he must be one of the few guys that's won a Rumble, but not an actual belt.
Yeah.
No, he's in the best, yes.
I think it's still a matter of the character work just doesn't quite translate to the North American wrestling audience quite yet. I think.
Do you think a lack of fans has hurt his progress going back to babyface now with the old theme song?
I think it would be the same regardless, because like I said, it's that hits with not necessarily a small portion of the audience, but I mean people that like myself that watch a lot of New Japan and more of the Japanese kind of stuff. It resonates with us, but I think with a lot of your traditional North American wrestling fan doesn't quite get it, and I think that maybe that's part of the problem.
I wouldn't mind seeing them do a Raw in Japan or something like that, and really getting the audience watching on TV just what he can do, because then I think it's more of like, okay, you're at ease, you're with people that know you, and then you can just do you, and they really feature him in a very good way, and they don't necessarily use all these Japanese like words. They just let him be comfortable in the ring, because oh my Lord, is he talented. And I think little things with him make a big deal. Like, remember when he debuted and they had those green little waves before? Like, I just think that ambiance they have with his entrance, like, give him all this stuff back and make him special. Make it feel like he's special again, and people will actually treat him as special. I think that's the big mistake right now. He's not perceived to be special anymore. Make him feel special, and people will think of him as special.
Well, that debut match with Sami Zayn, I mean that's like one of
best debut match ever. Best debut match ever.
Like one of my favorite matches of that decade. I guess we're going that far back now on that. I mean, it had that kind of intangible feel, like just when like both guys came out, the way that they built it, the way Sammy came out, and the reaction he got, and the reaction Nakamura, it had that kind of bigger match kind of feel to it. Like they really hit
fight feel
that match. It was absolutely fantastic.
Fight Forever chants were fantastic. I don't suspect he's going to get any of those when he's wrestling Baron Corbin.
Well, again,
you know what? Don't count him
very
short.
Underrated. Baron Corbin's very underrated.
Yeah.
And
Baron Corbin did a lot of great work with Cena, and we can always say, well, it's John Cena. Yeah, but you still have to dance with him. And Goose, like, we all know this, like, anybody can have a good match with certain talent, but you still have to do your part, and you still have to perform yourself. So it's one of those things where
I make no mistake. I'm not trying to trash on Baron Corbin and say he can't work or anything. Like, I mean, he's always just been a guy that, to me, that's like fine. Like, okay. He
needs to get pushed.
The thing I like about him is that I don't like him at all. Like, that's the thing that the thing I like about him is I don't like him. I look at him and I'm like, oh, that guy's a dickhead. Like,
that's mission accomplished. Yeah.
And
I would definitely like to see, you had hinted at it, and we've talked about it before, Parrish, the King of the Ring, bring that back. But the key there is, like, don't do, it's like, we're going to have like tournament matches like on Raw and SmackDown. Did you like the whole
one night,
the
man,
one night tournament, traditional King of the Ring? That would be awesome.
Well, that's just it. It's the act. It's that perception of feeling special and seeing something special. When you see someone have those 3 matches a night, and like they just get more intense, they go a little longer. They just have to like go to that extra gear. All of a sudden, you're seeing these guys go from one level to another level right in front of your eyes, and it's just amazing. Austin 316 came to be there. Owen Hart stepped out of the shadow from Brett, and I always won't remember that. And then, like, you have Brock Lesnar doing it, and even though it was one of those things, like, okay, yeah, man, that match with RVD really solidified him as the next WWE champion at the time. And then the match against Rock, it was just special, like just truly special. Like, they need to make these things feel special to the fans. And when you have them spread over week after week after week, you're giving the fans time to forget who's in the match, why it matters. And that's a thing. When you do it in one night, you keep it there. It's so much more special to see it one night. Yeah. And that's what they have to get back to. Simple things. It's a KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid.
I think that Apollo as a king would be fantastic, like King Apollo from Nigeria.
And then I would, if you do that, then I would ditch the Nigerian gimmick at that point.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the king thing.
The Nigerian king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he could really do a cool Lion King reference with that, by the way. That would be awesome.
at least he's been consistent with it, because typically when you come across, people out in public that are putting on a fake accent, it tends to kind of drop off and kind of come back. Like they're not consistent. At least maybe he's taking some type of lessons or something, and at least he's consistent with the accent.
Lessons? He is Nigerian. I think he knows if that.
I mean, he doesn't naturally have that voice, because he was in the U.S. longer for us, so he doesn't naturally have that accent, right? So
yeah, but I still think he knows his roots, and I think
I get it. I get it. But
I think he keeps it.
I still think it's hokey, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's because we know what else he has done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a lot of interaction. We had Roman come out with Jay and Paul doing
what do you think of Roman's new theme, by the way? Before you go there, I think Roman's new theme needs we need to converse on his new theme, because I don't think it's big enough for him.
At least it's not the Shield thing anymore. At least it's not that, right? They had to change that. It's like when I had said this before too. It's like when Bayley turned heel and they kept playing the same bubbly Bayley music, and it's like, I'm supposed to believe you're a bad guy now, but you come out to your previous music. It just didn't make sense, right? But at least they changed it. But I agree, it could be a little bit more epic, maybe, so to speak. But it's at least it's not the Shield music, because they
I just thought the Shield music just made it feel bigger. Like it was a better presence theme than the one he has now. But I agree with you. The fact that it's no longer Shield, it's better.
Didn't you have to ditch a bunch of that because of some copyright issues or some issues with the creator of that? Because they deal with somebody entirely different for their theme music now.
Yeah, I don't know, but like
they had to ditch a bunch of those. Like even Seth Rollins, because the same guy, like they ditched them. So
I think they're allowed to redo them with the new artist, though. I think they're allowed to redo them with the new artist and keep them. I think they did that with a few.
They have to sound completely different.
Is that why Shinsuke went back to using his old music too?
Possibly, because like I said, CFO, they don't do the theme music for WWE anymore.
No, but I think WWE still owns the music that they make.
They have to alter it, though. It can't be the same, because I guess that maybe that CFO, maybe they had some creative control.
It all depends on the agreements that they have.
That the WWE
it's all contractual shit.
Have enough foresight to make sure that they're allowed to use whatever is supplied to them in
Apparently
perpetuity.
Apparently not. But yeah, it's here's Spanny Pops with the answer. W owns the music. They have to pay the royalty. So maybe they didn't want to pay the royalties to them.
Unless it's Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, because they own that song now. $9 million they spent on it for absolutely nothing now because ECW died.
And then because that CFO, because they were let go, maybe that also explains that they don't want to use the music from somebody who was let go from the company. So there's that to take into account as well. But yeah, I would definitely like to see something a little bit more epic for Roman's entrance.
Just bring Jim Johnson back, man, or put him in the Hall of Fame.
It was perfect because he came out and he did his parade of champion, right? Because they had the other ones, and like I said, thankfully they did their own thing with him and didn't just lump him with the other guys and girls. So I thought that really worked. Same thing happened after Jim Johnson was like, oh yeah, they had to stop using a bunch of his music as well.
That guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and I think it needs to be said. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Who, Jim Johnston?
Yes.
Yeah, for all the music.
That guy wrote the soundtrack to my childhood. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Ed saying CFO was great too. I agree.
They did some good ones, yeah.
For sure.
WWE had some banger CDs back in the day, eh? Remember WWE, the Music Volume 4?
I had the cassette tapes. Screw the CDs. I had the cassette tapes.
Yeah, or if they got to roll out, you got to put your finger and rewind.
Yeah, people are
like, holy crap, you're old. Yeah, we are. Sue us.
And to date myself even more, I even owned a couple of 8-tracks when I was a kid. So
you know how old I am? I had to wait till tomorrow to get my vaccine. That's how old I am.
My first TV was a black and white TV. Screw you, I'm older. Next up, we had what I was originally thinking was going to be the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dogs again, but we had Dominic versus Bobby Roode in the singles match. A good solid match. Clearly Dominic still has a lot of work to do, but he sells very good, and he's good at getting his ass kicked by the veterans, and he's earning his stripes. And but it was a good solid match. I'm
gonna say this: if you're Dominic Mysterio and you get to work with these Bobby guys,
Roode.
And Bobby Roode is a Hall of Fame talent. He's one of the best pure workers in the game today.
Yes. And he's Canadian.
Yeah, great Canadian boy, and he's
extra. Yeah.
But just a little plug because we're a little biased. I mean, our favorite leaf is the maple leaf.
When I tuned in, this match
not my favorite team though.
No,
this match was in progress, and from what I saw, I did like it. And like you say, Bobby Roode working with Dominic is only going to benefit Dominic. I know Dominic actually did some training out here with Lance Storm. He was at a couple of RCW shows. I got an opportunity to meet him. He was pretty cool.
Yep, it was surprising that
the kid's going to be a star, man.
He is going to be.
He is a star. Yeah. He's on Smackdown Live. He's one half of the champions.
This is like watching Trish Stratus in like her first year, and then watching it like blossom. And this kid is like still super young. And just think you got guys like Noam Dar, Tyler Bate, Austin Theory, Dominic Mysterio. The future is so bright for this company. It is disgusting, and we have no idea who else can be out there. But the fact, and Rhea Ripley, she's only a few, she's still young. And it's it's amazing to see guys like this. And Mysterio has all this stuff in his pedigree. He lives and breathes. His DNA is 619.
Yeah. And this brings up a bigger thing because, like you said, Parrish, arguably this company, across the board, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, potentially maybe MLW, or if that stuff pans out, you have all your UK stuff, India, maybe not Japan. I think that they should go to Australia if they're going to venture over into that area. They have some of the best talent in the world. We should be drawing 10, 12 million viewers a week, not barely 2 or 1 million, because I think we've reached a point with the WWE, and I don't necessarily mean professional wrestling in general. I think we've reached a point to really, really get into the mainstream. We need we're at a tipping point now. We need to say, okay, we're either going to be just pure professional wrestling, or we're going to go strictly into the entertainment, because we're riding in that middle, and that's what's keeping the WWE from really getting into the true mainstream appeal. We need to decide on one way. Riding in the middle is what's keeping this company from having 12 million viewers every single week.
If you want 12 million viewers a week, Joe, as a traditionalist, you're going to get very upset if that's where it goes.
And you have to go the entertainment angle.
Just be prepared.
You have to go the entertainment.
If you think you get upset watching WWE now at times, just wait till they hit a 12 million viewer a week award. You will be cursing more than the between two beards. You will say more S-bombs than that show does.
But
you will blow through that jar quicker.
The bulk of the money
John ever can.
Spencer bringing up a point here. We have to keep in mind the bulk of that money is not coming from fans. It's coming from the television deals. It's coming from the contracts. It's not your audience giving you money. We have to keep that
Arabia.
And Saudi Arabia. I think some of that money is dried up by now. Doing the. Yeah, like I said,
because in the honor,
but it's not
in the honor of Shad Gaspard. It's all about that money. Yeah. All about that money. Yeah.
Like I said, the money isn't coming from the fans; it's coming from the television deals. That's a very, very important point to point out.
I don't think you can just go like pure wrestling and no.
And you have to go entertainment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck at this 2 million viewers every single.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is that's what pro wrestling is. It's a mix of athleticism and entertainment. Like if you just want to watch pure matches, watch UFC. You know, like if you,
it's different though. It's 100% different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is wrestling is supposed to incorporate like entertainment value stuff. Like if there was no promos on the show, it would probably suck. I don't think people would care.
A valuable point here. And the thing is that on top, you can make even more. This could be a multi-billion-dollar company because you'd have the television. They still have the television deals, but then you have so much more revenue coming in from the fans buying merchandise, subscribing to Peacock or the network or whatnot. Right? It could really get into higher territory if they decide on what they would really want to do.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. There's not a lot of shows on TV that are drawing 10 million viewers.
Can I answer that question though right now?
But there are some.
No shows, but the show that we are covering is Smackdown. Why don't we get back to Smackdown right now, shall we?
That sounds like yeah, but before we get back to that on a Sunday birthday.
Welcome to Love Wrestling
television show of all
business decisions on the WWE's part.
But it's still good to have the discussions.
Yeah, 100%.
But let's get to our main event here. Our triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. We had Apollo versus Sammy versus Kevin Owens versus Big E.
Before we get that, Street Profits had a promo.
Oh yeah.
And if we want to talk about somebody needed, like we were talking about earlier, about okay, we want some change. We want the smoke. No kidding. We get the damn point already, Street Profits. Reinvent yourselves a little bit. Let's do something else.
Yep.
Like, you want the smoke. Cool. Put that on your gear. Whatever. But let's evolve from that too. I mean, let's do something a little.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, but I mean,
I thought their promo was fantastic. I really liked it.
If they ain't broke, why fix
it? It's not a bad promo, but at the same time, it's no offense. It's all smoke and mirrors, pun intended. But and here's another thing: give them some smoke in their entrance. Then, big idea. But
here's like what you team up with Rob Van Dam. There you go.
He can be their manager, and he just like throws rolling papers into.
What about Disco Inferno? Because I'm sure an Inferno has smoke. Yeah.
I was a fan of Disco Inferno. I know people don't like
him.
Oh,
you were the fan.
I was a fan of Disco.
You were that fan. Okay.
He was entertaining as hell. With him and the Disco Duck and Scott Steiner. That was entertainment gold, man. Gold.
So
apparently nobody else thinks so.
So the
Disco Inferno match.
I don't understand how we talk about Disco Inferno to a main event. That is a statement I never thought I'd ever say.
Right, but still entertaining. The Apollo versus Sammy versus Kevin Owens versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Before we kind of started the show here, even Goose saying, this is probably one of his favorite matches from WWE recently. It's definitely my match of the night, and well executed by all four guys. I got to say, even my boy Apollo, well done.
it's also refreshing to see main event and SmackDown not involving Roman Reigns. Even though Roman Reigns is doing some of the best work he's ever done, and even in pro wrestling right now, it's just refreshing to see that the show doesn't always have to revolve around him. There's other acts that you can build a show around. Plus, it gives the Intercontinental Championship a little bit more, hey, they're making it feel special. Have you heard that one before? Yeah, that's just it. Yep. Intercontinental Championship match, main eventing a show. It's always nice to see.
Yep. Yeah, these guys totally busted their asses. This match was incredible. And like I was watching it and was like, oh, that one looks like it would hurt. Oh, that looks like it would suck. Oh, that looks like it would hurt. You know, there's a lot of that sort of stuff. So I give props to all these guys. They did some incredibly risky stuff in this match too, which is nuts. Like I will never get over the one where Big E runs off the ropes and then spears the guy to the floor. Yeah. I was actually considering doing that in a match once in Calgary, and then was like, yeah, I think I'll just stop at the rope and you could jump off the apron when I shoulder tackle you. And then...
Goose, we don't have the padding WWE has on the floor in Alberta. Don't do that. Yeah. Please don't do that.
But yeah, that's one of those things too. Like that's one of my favorite things that Big E does. I mean, he just when he goes through, man, just say like he doesn't stop. Like he just like all the momentum just keeps carrying him forward. And just watching him, just like, dude, don't die. You know, he's so aggressive. But I think that's one of the reasons why he's such a big hit with the fans and even with people like us. He's somebody that just he doesn't pull any punches. He doesn't hold back. That's what I love about Big E, man. He just leaves it all in the ring.
He has one gear, and that is better than yours, and it's fantastic. And that is something I respect about him. Like it's just like he knows how to, like, he's very versatile. That's like he knows how to be very comedic in the ones of being silly. He knows how to be really serious, and he's a presence when he's on screen that if he wants to be serious, you're just like, oh, I'm not effing with that guy.
Yep. And then
the big double suplex where he suplexed two guys.
Before we say the ending, I'm also going to say his finisher, the big ending, fantastic. And like that's one of the things too. Like, and he like that's Brock Lesnar has the F5, and when they always say, "Oh my God, can he F5 the Big Show?" It's an amazing thing. The big ending takes the same kind of power too, and it's absolutely insane when Big E can hit that on the bigger guys. It's one of those moves that when you see a small guy doing it, man, like it'd be awesome if you just like threw him up in the air, boom, and coming down. Like that'd be awesome. But then on the big guys, it's just impressive. He's one of those special talents that don't come around very often. It's just unfortunate that it took this long for people, aka The Office, to realize it.
And one thing that really worked with this ending too is we didn't do the stereotypical wrestling thing when somebody comes out like that and we like black out the entire building, right? They just kind of dim the lights, and then Aleister Black came out and basically black masked the shit out of Big E, and then allowed Apollo Crews to get the pin and retain the IC title. But I love the way that they execute that, because I mean, in so many instances and cases, we've done that, black out the arena, and they're just standing there, right? They did something a little bit different, so I appreciate that, because it left me kind of worrying. It's like, okay, you know, the lights aren't off, but they've been like, it made me really kind of legitimately wonder who it was, and I popped.
I was like, is something wrong with my TV here?
Right?
Like,
and I popped just like our friend Ed did here, because I was like, oh, it's Aleister Black, and then you know the shit went down. So it's fantastic. It was very well done.
I'm curious to see what theme they use for him coming back, because
I think it's got to be the same.
I still think that original one is the best one for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I wonder if his music was part of that whole thing we discussed earlier, though.
That's done through.
No,
that was done through somebody else.
Okay.
So I think
and it also has the dude from Rev Theory singing it, so he's allowed to. It's more up to, I think, him.
Yeah.
Than anything, but WWE does own that. Does own that song. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame that the WWE isn't allowed to just be like, use whatever song you want, so that Homeboy could come out to like something
copyright,
like,
man.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying is like, I it really adds to like independent wrestling shows when you go and you're like, oh, this banging song comes on and you recognize it, and then this wrestler comes out and it's like, you know, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, recognizable music is always great. Like when Dean Ambrose, John Moxley came out on AEW to Wild thing, I was like, oh, this is giving him a little bit more cachet here, because I feel like he's a bigger star because he's got actual music and not, you know, something that was like produced in-house or whatnot.
Yeah.
True, but he's also a case where he's one of the few that have it. That's why it feels a little bit bigger too. If everyone had it, it just blends in, and then you're picking which song you like best that or fits with the guy. So it was very similar with WCW when they did that, and you had Metallica do a song for Sting, and then you had other parody songs, and even go back to like when WWE had it, and Motorhead became the soundtrack of Triple H. And then you had that Forcible Entry where all of a sudden now you're getting real bands doing their theme songs, and like Disturbed's doing Austin. Like it's a tippy thing, because sometimes the instrumental part could be very good. If you have a good instrumental, oh my God. Like,
but I think my point is like that he's not even using, like, it's not like a remixed version by some big band. It's like just an actual song. Like Wild Thing is not, you know, the Shield music remixed into, like, you know what I'm saying? Like CM Punk is a good example, because he came out to Cult of Personality, and it's just like, oh, he's got like legitimate music here. This isn't something.
Yeah, and WWE spent a lot of money for it too.
Yep. And that's the thing too. And then you have to keep in mind.
We just said that WWE has made more money than they ever have. Like,
and we have to, some of that. And we have to look at it from the musician's side of things too. Maybe they don't want their music used, or like, you know, they ask too much for it to be used. So there's a lot of factors at play there. It's all fine and dandy. The wrestler wants to come out to a certain theme song, but I mean, it has to be something agreed upon through like every party involved, right? So
100%. Everybody wants to get paid, man. Everybody wants to get the money. It's all about that money.
It does kill it though. Completely the opposite way, because I remember when the Sandman showed up on the WWE's version of ECW, and he had just like Jim Johnson produced, like, I don't know who produced it, to be honest. It was in-house music, and it was like, oh, this sucks. Like,
I loved it. Yeah.
No, also, I hated it. I was like,
when you got an instrumental that Man in the Box.
Now I can't afford it, right? Like,
yeah. Well, if you want to listen to Metallica, you should check me out, because For Whom the Bell Tolls is my theme song, buddy.
There you go.
How much does Metallica charge you?
Don't worry, we're on a it's okay basis. We're boys.
Okay.
So overall a pretty damn good show.
Nothing else matters, so it's fine.
Yeah, overall, pretty damn good show. That ended off on a really good note. I like the way that it ended. It didn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger, but we ended with a surprise. And
it's a bit of a cliffhanger, because where do we go from here? What's Aleister like? Is Aleister Black going to feud with Big E, or is he was he coming in to state his intentions of challenging Apollo, or is he like going to be one of Apollo's new lackeys? What's going on?
No,
that would be a horrible.
No, I think this is a statement of like, hey, if you. It's like, did you miss me kind of a thing. It's also like, oh yeah, by the way, if you thought you knew what was going on, I've changed things, and my target is Big E, and it's just a statement. And I think you do have a couple things to go. You could have Aleister Black saying, oh, you're just a pawn in a bigger play, but then Big E takes exception. It's one of those, you're forcing that matchup to be a thing, while Apollo could go somewhere else with the IC title, and not putting Big E back in the IC title. And this is also an opportunity to make Aleister Black feel like that big time star. It's an opportunity to make him feel special. And this is something that WWE needs to be doing right now, because they don't have a lot of guys that feel special anymore.
And I'm not trying to be confrontational or anything, but like, wouldn't it be a much more like impactful statement if he had shown up and clocked the Intercontinental Champion with a spin kick, and then went on to like wrestle him for the belt and maybe win?
Hey, Goose, who's the bigger star right now?
Well, I mean,
who's perceived to be the bigger star right now?
You would suspect the champion would be the bigger star, but I get where you're coming from too.
Who's more over with the fans right now, Apollo or Big E?
Big E. It's pretty
So
clear.
if you attack the guy the fans love, boom. Bigger statements made.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, let us get ready to wrap things up. But let's go around and make sure everybody gets a chance to get their plugs. And I'll start with you, Parrish. And I will put up your banner here to make sure that we talk about this again before we.
Yeah, you want to go to donate.tiltify.com/@putting-u-over/St. Jude. I didn't even look at it because I know what I'm talking about. It's the guys at Putting You Over, helping St. Jude's, who are deciding, you know what, we like to help sick kids or kids who need our help. And this is a great time. For the month of May, you get a chance to be exactly what we all want WWE to have, and that's change. You get to make that change with these kids. You get to help them out. You give them a little bit of hope, and maybe they could actually attend a WWE show. You never know. Some of these guys could be a fan of Big E, who we're just talking about. Yep. They may want to see Big E get their revenge on Aleister Black, and you could give them that hope. So make sure you go and do that, helping them at the end of the month. Putting You Over's promotion are done. And yeah, we probably are rating. None of us know how to rate because we're not that smart on this stuff. So if you do want to check out him, go to twitch.com/Josh Robinson 00. Please go check him out. He's doing a 10-hour stream right now. Listen to nothing but Bellas because for whatever reason he wants to go insane. But with that being said, this link below, go to lovewrestling.ca/shop and you can check out all the fat merchandise, whether it's the Sunday brunch mugs, whether it's the Love Wrestling t-shirts or the Love Wrestling masks, because if you're Canadian, you're still wearing them, and being safe is half the battle. Doing your part is the other half, but loving pro wrestling is just something we all do.
Absolutely. All right.
Oh, I'm good. That's why I'm the champ, baby.
All right, Goose, the floor is yours, my friend.
Boy, of course, I see now that we've changed it from the St. Jude link to the Pro Wrestling Tees link. This is actually like one of the legitimate Pro Wrestling Tees t-shirts. I got this one in the mail today. I won it on Quizplex. I'm apparently I won the champion of champions. Yeah, yes, I did.
How cool is that, man?
That's what I did when I won the
right back in his own
pocket. I got 2 shirts and now I own both of them.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's
but
like my wife getting something I already own. Like here's like your own shirt back for your birthday. It's like awesome. Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, go buy some stuff at Goose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very cool shirt. There's another design up there as well. I do appreciate anyone that buys one. It really, really does help me a lot. Also, Monday Night Shaw on the Backbreaker Media Network. Stay abreast to that because I've been releasing episodes every Monday this week. Usually it's every 2 Mondays, but once in a while when I get enough banked, I like to put them out every Monday. So the next one up will be a interview with my good friend Cameron Stevens, who I've also had on the show like 3 or 4 times before this. So it's going to be one of those more fun, like
Did he design one of those said shirts you can find?
Sure. Yes, he did. Absolutely. I would highly recommend that if you're a wrestler and you're watching this, that you hit up Cameron for a design because he'll do one for you for like $25, and it's quality stuff. Yeah, so just that, like I say, Backbreaker Media Network for the Monday Night Shaw podcast, Kyle Shaw on Facebook, the.canadian.goose on Instagram, and Canadian Goose KS on the Twitters there. That's how you can get a hold of me or whatnot. And I'm always happy to say hello to people. So
awesome. And for our social media here, trying to pull it up here. There. It doesn't want to pull it up for whatever reason. Let me hide that. There, it's on the ticker. Our social media, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, over at Love Wrestling CA, and on YouTube as well. And then also make sure and go to Rate This Podcast /Wrestling CA and bump us up in the algorithm so we can take over wrestling podcasting.
Yeah. Who are these jobbers ready to do the job to Love Wrestling, brother? LoveWrestling.ca is the place of the main event for all podcasting for professional wrestling. And you know what? We're getting our hand raised because we're submitting the competition to our rightful position at number 1, brother.
All right. So again, as Parrish alluded to, I don't know how to do the Twitch raids. So go over to twitch.tv/Josh.
Can somebody put his link in the comments and then you can just click it because we're dumb
here,
and we don't know how to do it.
See if
we're sent a raid from Love Wrestling. I think Spencer came in and be like, "You guys are stupid. Let the boss show you how to do it."
Right. So for sure. So yeah, go over and check out Josh's channel if you're not part of the raid, or if you're seeing this after, go check out his channel anyways, because Josh is the man. He's fantastic.
I enjoyed his interview with Spencer earlier today.
It was very well done. Make sure and go and check that out. All right, guys, that wraps up here for another episode, and we'll see you guys on the next one.